Hello everybody. Today I'm going to go over how to shoot the SCCY CPX, the 1 or the 2 and the upcoming 3. So I hear a lot of people, I've seen a lot of reviews and I've heard a lot of people talking about how snappy the gun is and how hard it is to control because of how lightweight it is and stuff like that. And you got to understand that there's two different ways in which you feel recoil and perceive it. One of it is, you will perceive muzzle flip, you will get that feedback in the wrist, and that is mitigated by holding the gun tighter, and we're going to go over that. And number 2 is the vibration that you get from the slide hitting the frame, and the vibration that goes through the frame into the hand. Now, with this gun, they designed this area. This is a recoil reduction. It's not a pad, but it's a recoil reduction system, and it's not really an active system, but a lot of people have said, oh, it's supposed to be a recoil cushion. Well, it's not a cushion in the sense of cushion, it's a cushion in the sense that how it works. We're dealing with vibration, so much like a guitar string, when you're shooting this pistol and you get that vibration, what it does is it actually narrows right here, and it's so thin, so that vibration has to go through that very thin piece, and then you get this wide area where the back of your hand actually stops that vibration. So you will still feel vibration up here, which is primarily where I feel it, or you may feel it at the front or on the side, but once it gets back here, this is the main area where people are going to feel discomfort, and you'll get most of the vibration right in your palm, but it stops it right there. So in that sense, it does work, and here's the way to get maximum effectiveness out of this recoil cushion. You grip the gun tighter. It does the same thing for muzzle flip and controlling the vibration, making the recoil feel a little less. Now, for me, I had to figure this out the hard way. Now, I see a lot of people going to the range with this pistol, and they're holding the gun, crappily. They're just doing a less than firm grip, and they're not really. This is basically a cosmetic support hand. So basically, what they'll be doing is, and then they'll do that number after each shot. That is a huge pet peeve of mine, because no matter if you're target shooting or what, sorry, the mosquitoes are everywhere, and they're loving me right now, but anyways, that's a huge pet peeve of mine. You shoot this thing like a carry gun. If you're going to try to do target shooting, you should be gripping it the same as you would if you're shooting it fast. It only helps, really. It only helps. So, another thing is a lot of people criticize the trigger. So the way I mitigate that is by using proper trigger control fundamentals. Trigger reset should not be added as a fundamental. You should be resetting the trigger during the cycling and as you're requiring the sights. So you should be letting that trigger finger out and have it back on by the time you have your sights realigned. The time is not after you get your sights on. Training first to do this target method of resetting afterwards is not a good way to do it, because what are you doing when you're shooting fast? You're not waiting 10 seconds. You're not waiting that long to reset the pistol. You're doing it under the recoil. So why are you having two different methods for resetting the trigger? It doesn't make sense to me. So with this, when you're shooting this pistol, whether you're doing it to check the accuracy or try to get better discipline under, shooting the double action only, it's basically like a revolver. You want to treat it the same. Reset it under recoil, or let your finger out all the way. Relax your trigger finger. It's not that hard. So basically, just go boom, and I'm out. So I'm going to go ahead and reload a magazine and demonstrate this again. Okay, now let's go over how to shoot this thing properly. Again, you want to get a firm grip. I use the flush-mounted, flush-fitting magazine. Get it as small as possible. And I basically grip it nice and firm as if I was going to be shooting it fast. From here, the support hand should be crimping down on the firing hand, and not just, cosmetic. It's supposed to actually serve a purpose. Holding it on. This is just an added tension, like a vice. Basic grip fundamentals. So, you aim in, and then with the trigger, you just start. It's very smooth all the way to the rear, and then, and as you can see, I relax my trigger finger under recoil. This is not how you do it. You're never going to shoot fast like that. That's not how it works. If you've seen anybody shooting fast, they're resetting the trigger after recoil. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, that doesn't work with the fundamentals because you'll start jerking the trigger. Not true. You have a brain. You control what you do. So, with this, basically what happens is smooth pull to the rear, immediate relaxation, and then touch the trigger. And once your sights are back on, you start the firing sequence all over again. You pull the trigger again, and then relax. And then you're just touching the trigger on the reset, and you're relaxing the trigger finger under the recoil. So, with that, that's how I shoot the Sky pistol, and that's how I shoot pretty much every pistol. You don't need to make another fundamental with a trigger reset. So, again, it's a huge pet peeve of mine to do a couple of things. Number one, you basically treat the support hand like it's a cosmetic addition to your shooting. And number two, resetting after your sights are back on. That makes no sense at all, because what are you doing when you're shooting fast? You're resetting that trigger under recoil. Just saying. You shouldn't have to retrain yourself with basic marksmanship. That should just be cut out, and this should be the method that is standard, because that's what you're going to learn anyways in advanced shooting. Most people that I see that are supposedly experts, I see a lot of experienced shooters, I see them doing the same thing when they're shooting slow. It makes no sense, because nothing changes. The only important thing is the trigger pull, not the reset. The reset does not dictate where your shot goes. The trigger pull does. The round does not ignite here. It ignites here. Okay? Alright, I hope that was helpful for you. Thanks a lot for watching, and leave your comments down below. Hope this was helpful.